Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That it shouldn't have started again. Hang on, hang on. We're here. We should start the stream. I think it's this button, right? I think it's this one. And right? And then do the thing and the stuff. And the hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world. Hey there, friends, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today it didn't recognize this hat. I don't know if it knows. I think it knows this hat. It should know this hat. I'm seeing it's got some schmutz in front of it. This is a hat I got. I believe it was the Washington D.C. Hard Rock Cafe. Let's try that hat command one more time.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
It looks nothing like Windows Phone. What the heck are you smoking? No, try that again. There it is. There we go. And it was even a better percentage, 63%. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing there, friends? My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is March 26th, 2024. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? It's good to see you. They're right over here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch, on YouTube. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Let me say hello to folks. Robert Stefan, good day. Hello to you. Lanky Scottish Nerd. Null Sheffo. Napalm Codes with a happy time zone. Yes, indeed. Excuse me. Badger, how you doing there? It's TagzApp Day. It's TagzApp Day. Well, yes. Figure out why compression is complaining when you run the containerized app. That is interesting. Compression shouldn't be complaining. No. Technically, Windows phones are just as useful as a hard rock. No, they still work. You just don't get support, and you could connect them to a network, but yeah. Yeah, knock down the container and restart it. See what happens with that. That's weird. That's a little bit weird, not gonna lie. How you doing there, chat? It's been an interesting few days. I'm gonna share something. Friday we had it was a great event. I had a blast inviting on our friends Jimmy Engstrom, Ed Charbonneau. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget folks' names here, and that is awful of me. Brian Randall and Brady Gaster. Big thanks to them. I had a few other folks invited. Not everybody could make it, and that's okay. I wish them the best. Some of them were having other problems, and they just weren't able to make it. I'm okay with that. Let me get some music playing in the background here, and I've got some news to share, and I want to talk about a few things. Let's start down here. This is called City of Lies. This is Stream Beats. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. All kinds of genres available, and I like the EDM and synthwave playlists because they're just groovy to have in the background. A lot of fun. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for making this music that we're listening to today. So Friday, I'm glad you enjoyed the event, Robert. That makes me very happy. We wanted to go through and cover a bunch of stuff. I'm editing. I'm breaking up the videos in the event, and I'll publish it as a playlist on YouTube so that folks can get to it and get to the individual elements and publish those commercials individually as well. Yeah, we had a bad configuration with StreamYard, and it was only outputting at 720p instead of full 1920 glorious clear goodness like you see here now. That's okay. You still got the value out of it. You still understood and you heard what happened. Kick it a few times, yeah, it'll be configuration problem or something. A little bit. So Friday was a very difficult day for me, not just because I was running a 6-hour stream. I mean that's a long stream. That's a lot of content we're going through. I have 2 dogs. 14-year-old Akita, 2-year-old Akita. 6:30 in the morning, about 5 hours, 4.5 hours till we're about ready to get started. And I'm getting ready to head downstairs, get the morning coffee, walk the dogs, do the stuff, and have some breakfast before I start doing final checklist of things to get ready for the day. Our older dog, Dee Dee, she collapsed on the kitchen floor. Could barely breathe. Tried getting her up. Tried getting her out for a normal walk. No dice. We knew this time was coming. 2 years ago, vets gave her a month to live. 2 years ago, vets said there's nothing we can do. We went to Dr. Google and searched for the symptoms she had, and we identified she had Cushing's disease. She's been on daily medication for arthritis and Cushing's disease for the past 2 years. And she beat that life expectancy that vet told her she had. She made it to just over 2 years. And we had to make that painful decision Friday morning. And just a few hours before I went live and we had our stream that day, we lost her. And she was my buddy every day. We'd be out in the evening, after dinner, walking. You may remember the terrible hurricane that came through the east coast of the United States. Superstorm Sandy, massive flooding damage in New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore. We'll get to Baltimore. And Dee Dee and I went out for our half-mile walk in the middle of a hurricane. We walked through blizzards. We did our business and through rain and sleet, freezing rain, and the warmest, most beautiful of days in the summer. But it was time, and yeah, Friday morning. And that way was a little bit of the reason I was slightly off. I tried to put on a good face during the event, but I was slightly off during that event, and it was hard. I put it behind me. I put it out of my head, and it was a long weekend. It was. So, I wanted to share that with you because I try to be as transparent as possible about everything that's going on with me, around me, as I produce and share with you on these streams. Yeah, losing a family member is hard. Yeah. Fortunately, when we got the diagnosis that she had a month to live, there happened to be at the rescue that a litter of 8 puppies that came in, and we adopted one at that time. His name was Oscar. We shortened it and made it the playful puppy sounding Ozzy. And we did spell it like Mr. Osborne. And Ozzy has been a trooper. He's been there for us and showing us love and helping us out after losing his big sister. So while it's terrible to lose a family member and we've had our sad moments, we're okay because Ozzy's been there to help us. So, as an owner of a 15-year-old mostly healthy Jack Russell, you dread the day. Yeah. It is not easy. And Badger, that's exactly what was going through my head. that morning. And yeah. I took yesterday off. It was necessary, right? You can't just plow through and put everything behind you. You need to spend some time. So I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to be able to do tomorrow's C# with C# Fritz stream. I think I need to cancel it, and I know I need to cancel next week's. Next week's I'm going to be on the road. I'm actually going to be in San Juan, Puerto Rico, on Wednesday. I'm speaking at an event there about ASP.NET, about .NET 8. I don't think I'm going to be broadcasting Tuesday morning because that's when my flight is. I'm going to try so maybe I'll do a Monday stream next week. But Thursday, I'm going to try and do a morning stream from San Juan, from the hotel room. We'll see how that goes. So that's on the agenda. Friday this week, we'll try and do another Overwatch stream. It's been so much fun recently. I've really enjoyed that and bringing a different side and showing a little bit here. So thank you, Triopticon, eJavaCraft. Thank you so much, all of you here. Right, I do read all of these messages. Thank you. So the other big news, and I even saw the BBC pick this up. Ship coming out of Baltimore last night at about 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it's at like 6 a.m. UTC, 8 a.m. Central European time. Ship coming out of the Baltimore harbor, and there are a ton of cargo ships that go in and out of that harbor, traveling under the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Lost power on the boat and crashed into the bridge, and the bridge collapsed. Awful disaster. There were folks, there were maintenance workers working on the bridge at that time at night. It sounds like they've all been rescued. They were still looking for 2 early this morning. Not clear about that. It is a spectacular bit of film to see. But there are cars crossing that bridge as it collapsed. No word on any of those drivers, but it is. They've declared a state of emergency. This is one of the main arteries into the city of Baltimore. The other main artery, the main highway that goes through there is Interstate 95. It's the main highway that goes all the way from Maine at the northernmost part of the United States, all the way south to Miami. Connects the northernmost part of the United States to the southernmost part of the continental United States. I'll make sure I get that correct. Folks in Alaska and Hawaii, correct me. And right, that distance between them, somebody was showing me on a map, is the same distance if you were to drive from, is it Madrid to Moscow? So, or take a train between those two. It's the same distance, right? To give European folks a sense of that distance. And I-95 is the one highway that connects all the way through there. So the reason that this bridge is so important is the tunnel that goes under the harbor through Baltimore on 95 is, it's smaller than typical cargo trucks. 18-wheeler trucks will allow through, and also going under the harbor, if you've got any kind of gas or volatile liquid on there, you don't want that in a bridge, in a tunnel. So this is an important bridge that they would route through and go across to get through Baltimore, get back onto 95, and continue through. So there's a major disruption in cargo shipments north-south in on the East Coast of the United States. All the best to the workers, the recovery folks that are out there working on this. Baltimore is about 2 hour drive south of me. None of my family members are in or near Baltimore. Close to that, none of my coworkers, everybody that I know is safe and not involved in that. So, no, please, nothing to worry about. But my heart goes out to those folks. Baltimore is another hardworking town like Philadelphia, and it's going to be a bit of a mess here on the East Coast, travel wise, for a while till they get that repaired. They get some alternate routes through there. So, and because that's down, there's no shipping coming out of Baltimore Harbor because they can't get through. So until that gets cleared up a little bit, there's no boats coming and going through there for a little bit. Oh boy. Oh boy. But I digress. How you doing, chat? So, enough about disasters and pets and this. How are you doing? I see there was a good amount of work going on the Discord channel, folks discussing, and that's why I didn't show up at all the past 3-4 days over there. And certainly last week I've been heads down working on. I was working on content, getting stuff together for my presentations on Friday that I delivered, and getting all the rest of that content ready for Friday's event. So yeah, I'll be back in the Discord interacting and doing a little bit of office hours, hanging out in voice chat at some point over the next few days. How are you doing? Most of your dev team lives in the Baltimore area. Thankfully, everybody's okay. Fantastic. That's great to hear, PC Nerd, that your team is doing well. Yeah, heart goes out to the folks affected in that area. It's going to be a little bit before anything's back to normal there. So, we're continuing minimal March here. We're working at the command line, having fun working with .NET 8, learning, building, and interacting with some of the cool stuff that we can work on. There was some issues, some discussions, some pull requests that came out of chat over the weekend. Looks like Napalm with a couple items here. Let me get these queued up and we can discuss just a little bit further. And would you like me to discuss some of the Q&A that goes on in Discord? There are a number of little Q&A forums there. Would it be fun to go through and discuss some of those questions and answers there? Some of those forum things before we dive into the code? Before we dive into today's code? What do you think, chat room? Help me out here. Hey there, Manoj. Hello. Yeah, I know what that is. That's fine. That's fine. And I'm going to turn on streamer mode for this. Yep, streamer mode. Developers. There we go. Hey, Barnes Emma. Hello, welcome. How you doing there? Sounds like a good plan. All right, let's do this then. So let me start with, let me start over here. We'll head over to the code. It's not even the code. We'll head over to Discord. Hey there, look, Discord. So I'll start here. Patrick talking about the YouTube video that I posted last week, talking about the 3 I's of educational content: immersion, interactivity, and inclusivity. And Patrick says, what about introductions? I think every talk presentation I give, I go on too much at the beginning and would be better served with a dramatically shorter intro. Totally agree. That's why I don't think intro is a good I as part of that. For educational content like blog posts, like videos, put your introduction somewhere else. Put it on an about page. Put it at the top of your YouTube channel. Put it in a panel on Twitch so that folks can find it, and if they want to know, who is this person? It's right there, and they can dig into it. And I mentioned that a little bit here. When folks give presentations in person, don't spend 5 minutes giving an introduction of who you are. I've been a Microsoft MVP since 2012, a GitHub star since 2018, a Google blah, 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 a Facebook so-and-so. Stop it. Stop. I give your talk. Prove how knowledgeable you are by teaching us. Give us 30 seconds. Hey, my name is Jeff. I'm a program manager at Microsoft, and I've been a Google influencer since 2018. We're going to talk about Angular today, and only give those credentials that apply to what you're talking about. We're going to talk about Angular, and I'm a Google influencer. Okay, great. If we're talking about Angular, don't tell me that you're an assistant instructor at the local Home Depot on bring your kids to work day. Don't tell me. I don't care that you're doing stuff at Home Depot when you're talking about Angular. So, right? Level 002. Let me come back to that question in just a minute here. So, those are my thoughts on that kind of thing. Level 002 says, I use the scaffolding tool for Razor components available in Visual Studio. Based on an entity framework provided, it generated the create, read, update, and delete, but I noticed that the create for, which is an edit form, only works if I apply interactivity to it. Is the scaffolding more oriented towards Razor than Blazor? No, it should work with Blazor. It should work with Blazor. Share some sample code over here in the Blazor forum. Let's take a look. It should work because the server-side rendered websites should work with those. You might be missing something in there. We can take a look. There were a couple questions here in the Blazor forum. How do you make Blazor more familiar to programmers with a decade of WPF background? Right? Are there any libraries that bring Blazor close to home for WPF programmers? Stuff that gives access to element events, stuff that can help with layouts, like Blazor equivalent for grid, canvas, stack panel. There's this website, XAML for Blazor, that helps you use XAML markup in your Blazor. That feels weird. Because, right, I know there's folks that absolutely love XAML, but you're being lied to. I mean, let's get right to brass tacks. XAML was an implementation of HTML for native applications that the WPF and Silverlight teams wrote. Like, literally, they wanted to implement HTML, but they weren't allowed to implement HTML. The internet is HTML. That's right, Marcus. So everybody should at some point learn HTML, is my humble opinion, because it's not going anywhere. I really appreciate that you enjoy XAML, and it's the language for Xamarin Forms and .NET MAUI and WPF and Silverlight. So what? Those are all only available through the .NET framework. HTML is everywhere, and folks are actively building, contributing, enhancing, and adding capabilities to it. I would encourage you to learn HTML. If you do want XAML, check out something like Uno platform. Blazor Quick Grid will get you a nice grid if that's something that you're looking for. There are a number of frameworks out there that'll give you capabilities. You've tried XAML for Blazor, quickly dismissed it as very poor Visual Studio 2022 integration. No IntelliSense, almost like writing code in Notepad. IntelliSense is generated based out of the component. Like, based out of the features of the component, so I'm curious about that. As for Uno, I liked it a lot, and I've dropped it in favor of Blazor after playing with it for a couple weeks and realizing its output is very unpredictable when viewing content on different devices' browsers. Yeah, HTML, CSS, JavaScript is the way to go. That's hiding behind me, but hey. You think it's amazing that HTML has the longevity that it has? HTML's great. Simple, easy to read. Is Aceternity for Blazor possible? Do you think there's a way to use Aceternity components with Blazor WebAssembly? From my understanding, the components get compiled to CSS JavaScript in the end. Is there a decent way to import and use them in Blazor? This is Aceternity UI. Never heard of it. And I see a lot of tweets, folks saying, oh my gosh, I really like this. How are they? Are these... Is this the embedded tweet UI from Twitter? Yeah, the world has a dependency on HTML. It's okay to for you to take a dependency on it. Oh, these are Next.js and Tailwind. Google Gemini effect. Okay, whatever. Animated tooltips, Aurora background gradient animation. Yeah, these are JavaScript and CSS things. Can you do it with Blazor? Sure. And I mean, it's going to be CSS, and at some point you might have JavaScript going with it. But yes, folks could build and work with this. Absolutely. Is it something that you can import and use? You won't be able to import them. Let me pin that over here so you can see my messages that I'm going to type back here. Why isn't it getting down to the bottom of the screen? Whatever. Sure, you can bring their HTML into Blazor and JS interop. Call the is it Next or Nuxt? Which one was it? Oh, I closed it. Yeah, Next.js. And call the Next.js. But why? Just use the components in an SSR Blazor application and call out to embedded WebAssembly components when needed. That's the way I would do it. So there were no C# questions. I don't think there were any web dev. No, nothing there yet. There are a couple of Ask Jeff Anything here. There was a question about how expensive running ClipTalk was on Azure, because they're looking at running a similar application. And I mentioned, go through the discussion here about how it handled 80 million records from Twitch effectively. Hey folks, with data grids, data tables, what have you been using that have inline editing and data on demand like pulling remote data with paging. Can you recommend any except Sync Fusion? I'm very partial to Progress. I'm a former Progress Telerik employee. That's my bias, but all the vendors make good components. So that's my opinion on the topic. Yeah. You're going to find you should have great components from all of them. If you don't like one of their components, try the next one. They all offer 30-day free trials. So go give it a shot. I'm going to sneeze. Napalm did some work over the weekend to refactor out some of the common instrumentation that we were writing into the various providers into a common class. Like, why repeat yourself? So this is interesting for our open telemetry, and there might be a pattern here that we can learn from to use in other places. So there's the changes to the dashboard. So open telemetry extensions, instead of adding meters for each one of the providers, just adding a overall meter called TagzApp provider metrics, and adding a singleton for the provider instrumentation. And here's the provider instrumentation. It takes in an iMeter factory. It creates that TagzApp provider metrics that is added up here. And we have a messages received counter. And we expose an add message method that will add, hey, for this provider, increment the counter by 1. And also for this author, increment the counter. Okay. Increment the author counter. Now, the author counter was per provider. So I feel like there's a piece. There's a grain here that's missing. A level of granularity. So instead down here, for each username in messages, for each username, if instrumentation is not null. So if we do have instrumentation for each username, add a message on the Mastodon provider for that username. Okay. Start Mastodon now removes adding the Mastodon instrumentation. Remove the Twitch chat instrumentation. And here's Twitch chat with the same instrumentation being added. I like this. It simplifies things so that I know there's folks out there working on Discord. We're going to go back and add this into our other providers. It's going to make it dramatically easier to put in that level of instrumentation to all of our components going forward, and then we'll build and do more with those. So let's bring this in. I like it. It built properly. It compiled. Get it merged in. Thank you so much. It will simplify and improve and standardize. Oh, come on, man. Standardize the metrics we collect from providers going forward. Nice. Great stuff. Thank you, Napalm. And there was a discussion in chat. Hey, how do I get some test data to work with here? So, hey, why don't we put together a test provider that just randomly generates some data in the format of other providers? Perhaps we can use something like Bogus to do that. Sure. Makes sense. He's adding the provider and the author to the message receive counter. I didn't think that was what I understood was being added there. How you doing there, Mots? So add one new key value pair, provider, author. Okay. I thought it was incrementing by one those two counters. I might be misunderstanding what the message receive counter is doing. So, Dev Express is great. You've been using it since 2009, says Vasto Coder. Okay. You love the Telerik components, eJavaCraft? Yeah. They're, for the most part, the various component vendors are very, very similar. Very similar. And you should find success with all of them. Syncfusion hasn't been up there with the other big four in a while, and I think Infragistics is falling off a little bit. I haven't seen significant announcements, features from Infragistics in a while. Meshius, formerly Grape City and Component One, Progress Telerik and Dev Express are still going strong. Syncfusion is getting into that mix. Iron Software is trying to get into that mix. So there's opportunities, and there's new organizations that are getting there. Syncfusion has always been a half step off on some of the frameworks. They've got a great set of Maui components. Syncfusion does. But I think they're just a half step off from some of the others. In at least the tenure in this space, and they're just about there. They've got some really good components. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one or two that could use a little bit more help. So the idea of test data generator, love that idea. Love that idea. That's a great idea. Not something that I'm going to work on right now. Absolutely something that should be addressed to help with some of the work to build and work with the content on TagzApp as a developer. We were working on this idea, getting the SignalR hub reconnected. So we see this issue, particularly when there's a server restart. Think about it. There might be a new deployment. There might be an update that's deployed. There might be other things that happen that force you to disconnect. Hey, instead of connecting directly in, we're going to connect through a front door. We're deploying extra servers to help handle the load. Those types of things. And we don't want to interrupt the way that the browser interacts with TagzApp. So we started putting some features in to help with the reconnect, and we did this one for getting the waterfall user interface reconnected. There was something else about that we said, oh, let's not forget on the waterfall UI. So there was something else we said we should get this added before, and I can't remember what it was, before the end of Thursday stream. I've got about 2.5 hours left on today's stream. I do have to end just a smidge early. I've got a couple meetings to get to, and yeah, to work through. So this is one of these final fit and finish things before we put the app into a Blazor native application. I really want to get this into the hands of folks like Joystick Nick, of Quiltoni, Fairy Wings, Fierce Kittens, Imperial, some of our friends who do streaming in other places that would really enjoy using TagzApp to bring their community together from these various places that folks are listening and working and interacting with them. So getting this nailed down and working, kind of important for me to make sure that we don't have some of those, well, why is it restarting types of questions. There's another piece in here with getting the SQLite databases scaffolded that needs to be done as well. Lasai,
I just resubscribed for 21 months.
thank you so much, and I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Much appreciate. 21 months with us. Hello, hello. Thank you very much. Thinking out loud, if we were able to post a sample JSON in that test provider issue from each provider, it would be. It probably would be. There is sample JSON already in the code for Twitter. Let's see. Let's open tmux. TagzApp provider twit. Thank you. I believe. Come on now. Or is it in models? There it is. Sample tweets JSON. So here's the thing. This was captured in August 2023. So some of these URLs don't work anymore. Either tweets have been deleted or archived, or Twitter decided to move those URLs. That's interesting that Twitter decided to move those URLs. The text still works. Some of the profile pictures that folks posted, they might no longer be on there, and those links might not work. But it might not necessarily be there. Twitch chat. I could probably dump some Twitch chat from. No, I can't dump it from the database because it won't be in the Twitch chat format. I would want to capture a bunch of Twitch chat and just output it. Let me do that offline when I can.
McNet's just resubscribed for 9 months. URL is that you're talking about?
Yes, the URLs. So yes, those things.
Totes my goats.
That's what we need to. Shut up.
Finish him.
Yes, that's what we need to work through. Hey there, Zultra Lord. Good to see you. Thank you so much, McNets. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. JavaCraft heading out for a month, going on vacation. I would need to capture Twitch chat live. Chat room, do you want to help? Do you want to help generate some fake data, some not so fake data? Right? Let's do this. Split that. A little bit much there. Thanks. Oh my gosh! And the Zultra Lord with the
Zultra Lord just resubscribed for
with the
14
resub.
months.
14.
CBC who.
Thank you. Hoo-ha! Appreciate that. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. I think I have a way to actually do the voice changer. And I don't need the extra microphone. I get to cosplay as bogus.net? No, I don't. No. Let me see here. So let's jump over. Yeah, I know I don't have a next window. Thanks. Let's do this. Let's go source TagzApp providers back into the Twitter provider. Let's look at the Twitter provider for a second. Wait, not the Twitter provider. Not the Twitter provider. The Twitch chat provider. Yes. So we get data from Twitch chat. Do you want data in the provider format? Hey, thank you, Kiss My Pixels. Good to see you. Because this is different. The format that comes in no, thinking out loud. You don't care about this. If we're going to create a developer test provider, you don't care that it's in Twitch format. You just want some JSON that it's going to go through, randomly choose some content from, and occasionally output on screen. And let Bogus go through and do some of the reformatting, and you don't want to go through all the transition from one shape data to another shape data. No, you've got enough data to work with. There's plenty of data there to work with. I don't think we need to generate more. No, just use, for the purposes of developer data to test and build user interface, just take data in the format that TagzApp's expecting. No need to go through and generate transitions and reformatting of data. Just use the content that's already there. There's a couple hundred messages that can be iterated through. Ooh, level 002, you had a supply parameter from 4 missing. It needs that to work without any interactive mode in Blazor SSR. You removed that earlier because it was throwing an error, but it seems that after restarting Visual Studio. Glad to hear that, level 002. Oh my gosh. I would have been happy to go through and take a look at that with you, but I'm happy for you that you found that yourself. You got a little, I hope you have a little more confidence in the tool, in yourself, and finding and debugging some of that stuff. That's great. Congratulations. Supply parameter from form. You need it in Blazor SSR. We could use the object you read into. Right, yeah. Yep. For a little developer tool to load data and have it appear occasionally. Yeah. We're thinking this through. The issue that's created over here. This test data generator provider isn't for this. The purpose of this isn't to help with writing providers. The purpose of this is to help with writing user interface components, help with building the waterfall, help with building APIs and help with building a mobile application that might be reading and presenting content. Having test data that we know is being regularly generated and delivered, and you're not hooked up and listening to Mastodon or Twitch chat because you're a guy that's streaming on Twitch, shouldn't be necessary. But having test data that's generated every few seconds that you can count on and will give some meaningful metric and help to trap meaningful metrics. Sure. Yep, absolutely. All of those things are user interface on top of user interface and user experience, right? We're talking about an admin's user experience when we think about metrics. But they're user interface things on top of the general service of collecting measurements. Gotta love when things start working when restarting the IDE and reindexing the project. Yeah. Happy to Apple patch the macOS Sonoma update. They broke a lot of things. They do that a bit. And then they say that it's our fault. And I made I made a comment on our friend Paul Thurot's on his Twitter the other day. He posted, "Hey, look, Apple is finally going to allow you to put empty spaces and empty lines in your pinned collection of icons on your home screens on the iPhone and iPad." You mean like they had way back at the beginning? Yeah, because they've been copying, right? The same interface that we had in Windows 3.1 and OS 2 and all these operating systems before that. Like, the Android home screen, the iPhone home screen is the same thing that we've had for years and years and years, and all these GUI operating systems for many, many years. So, I've got folks now asking me, "Hey, did you see the bridge?" The other Microsoft folks. You love your Mac M3 so much. Really excited to see Windows ARM at 100%. It's getting there. It's getting there. Your screenshot tool was freezing, had to kill the process each time. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Oh, Napalm. Motives are just fine. That's okay to have motives. So, okay. So we're working on this idea of let's get SignalR reconnecting properly. And I think a bit of the work that we did in the waterfall user interface is going to apply to some of these other user interfaces. We should be able to take what we've learned there and just go across and use the same technique. So let's jump back over here. I'm going to go down into this. Get my database restarted. I'm going to jump up here, jump into the Blazor application, and let's .NET watch this, John. Shall we? I've heard this, Chris Jones. You were watching the last Tuesday stream, got to the part where I spoke about having to move to RBAC. Yes. Rolly rolls. It's something that everybody's being forced to do on Azure. And we all need to get there, regardless of how many folks you have on your subscription. Like, you're going to need to move things there. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, I'll go to that Ars Technica article. We should discuss this. This is kind of important because I actually do have one of these devices. There it is. Unpatched vulnerability in Apple chip leaks secret encryption keys. Sidechannel allows end-to-end key extractions when Apple chips run implementations of widely used cryptographic protocols. It can't be patched. Yeah, because it stems from a microarchitectural design of the silicon itself. It can only be mitigated by building defenses into third-party cryptographic software. So, particularly on earlier M1 and M2 generations. Guess who has a Mac laptop with an M1 in it? Malicious application with the normal user system privileges runs on the same CPU cluster. So, buyer be warned on what you download and install on your Mac now. Do not download and install whatever. So if it looks like a pointer, yeah, point to an address and it will read the wrong address. Yeah, we don't care about the data value being prefetched, but the intermediate data look like an address is visible via cache channel and is sufficient to reveal the secret key over time. So, yeah, that's a problem. Look, don't go installing stuff that anybody gives you, right? We saw this, right? Our friend Pirate Software kind of drilled in and found that this was the issue with the folks in the Apex Legends hacks. They went and installed an extension they knew nothing about. Somebody sent them a link. Oh, let me check this out. And they did it live on stream. And they installed malware. Unbeknownst to them, they installed malware that hacked their Apex games live during an event. Oops. So, it seems like there are a lot of CPU sideload vulnerabilities across a wide variety of manufacturers currently. For the average user, I don't think this is much of a concern. No. When the lab discovers it, the hackers will have it within a month or so. Like, it's going to get to you. It's going to. While it might be in a lab space now, once folks have identified where it is, other folks will find it and write the tools. And it might not be the college student, it might be a nation state. Other folks will find it. Like, President Not Sure asks, isn't that the same problem like Spectre and Meltdown? Kind of. And Spectre and Meltdown we were able to patch, but it was similar. You're the only user in all subscriptions on your Azure account at the company you work for. Yeah. Well, older M2s are vulnerable to this, they say. It says earlier M1 and M2. So, you have an iPad with an M1. If you're installing typical games and apps from widely known providers, you should be fine. You watch Prime talk about it? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they've ruled out being able to reproduce this on M3s. So, or maybe they haven't gone that far with the M3 yet. Like, do they mention M3 anywhere in this? No, they don't mention M3. So, the fact that they don't mention M3 doesn't mean that it's not affected. It means that they haven't found it on M3. Demo videos, people behind this. Here's my problem with security researchers like this. Why are you publishing this? Are you trying to warn people? Are you trying to convince Apple that something needs to be done with their software? You're doing this to show how smart you are. You're doing this to show off. And gosh, look at all the people covering us. This work was partially supported by the Air Force Office of Scientific Research. So literally the U.S. military discovered this. And the U.S. military, instead of exploiting it with the U.S. espionage, decided to publish this. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, under contract numbers, the National Science Foundation under grant numbers. So this was paid for by the American public. And gifts from Intel, Qualcomm, and Cisco. So these are people justifying the grants and research that they did. I ask you again about motive. These are people who are not trying to improve the technology. These are not people who are trying to say, hey, we need to write software better. We need to re-architect our processors better. These are people who are saying, look what I found. So this can be disabled on M3 processors. So we recommend using the latest versions of software as well as performing updates regularly. Developers of cryptographic libraries can either set the DOIT bit or the DIT bits, which disable the DMP on some CPUs. Preventing attackers from measuring DMP activation in the first place, for example, by avoiding hardware sharing, can further enhance the security. So let's be clear here. If you buy used hardware, if you buy a used M1 Mac or M2 Mac, don't put it on the internet until you get this thing patched. But you're going to have to put it on the internet to download the operating system and re-image the device. Yeah. And they're going to release proof of concept code. The cat's out of the bag. The hackers will have this. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that folks are doing this research. Giving it to you and me and the general public does not help the general public. It helps the bad guys. Give it to Apple. Give it to the cryptographic library authors. Hey, fix this. We disclosed this to Apple 100 days ago. I don't care. You're doing this to show off. You are a bunch of arrogant pricks. Period. End of story. That is not keeping things secure when you disclose these things like this. When there isn't a patch. Oh, you didn't patch it, so we're telling the world. Come on now. Come on now. Really? Where'd everything go? It's right there. It's right there. Switching back to the Linux machine. Hey, Ellieface. Hello. You reached a place in your definitely not developer role where you use Visual Studio Code every day. Awesome. Yeah. I'm not using Visual Studio Code this month. I haven't. We're not using it because I'm in Vim. What kinds of things are you using VS Code for? And that's pretty cool. Oftentimes you see these are reported right to Apple secretly. No, they disclosed this because time's up. You didn't do anything to fix it, so we're disclosing it to the world. And you saw from the list of press clippings, everybody's scared of it. So, hey, Jed. One more reason to switch laptops, unfortunately. which then, right, is going to create a whole bunch of e-waste. That's not good. Gifts from Intel and Qualcomm, right, they have a reason to say, hey, why don't you go investigate Apple's hardware and give me a reason for some scareware around it. I mean, that's what they've done, is they've created scareware. If they release this vulnerability, what did the security agencies keep for their own use? Exactly, Surly Dev. It is so suspect, it's not even funny. Research is important, I agree. Hang on, what am I doing here? Is Ellieface are you still there? You still watching? Here's TagzApp. Where's my messages? It should be running. It should be running. There they are. Breaking down logs, writing out SQL and API calls. Very cool. Why are you using Linux? Let's talk about that in a second. About to jump in a meeting. Have a good one there. So, right, so we've broken down and picked out some of these messages like this one from Oakleus. Why am I using Linux? And I've also got an overlay there that I can use. And we'll clean up a little bit of that. But this is TagzApp. It integrates with Twitch, Twitter, Mastodon, YouTube, websites, and we have folks working on Discord right now. Instagram's coming in the next few months. Why are we using Linux? This is minimal March. All month long, I do .NET coding at the command line so that folks can see it's great to work with .NET. You can be very productive at the command line. So there we go. So there's the waterfall screen, and there's also the moderation screen we can go through and tinker with. So enjoy your meeting. Good luck. Good luck. So I'll leave the moderation screen up here. What else? Where was I? So we were getting ready to do a little bit of the reconnect work here. Which Linux distro? This is Kubuntu Linux, KDE with Ubuntu. So, and you can see my Kubuntu icon there in the corner. So, let's see, what else do we want to do here? Yeah, we're going to do the reconnect stuff. Should probably do it on this page. Should probably do it on this page. And I think there's also a situation where we want to force a page reload at times. Oh, let's do the overlays. Those are easy. They should be easy. So, right, the overlay page here, it receives a SignalR connection to push the message onto the screen. So when we choose a message here, it pushes it onto the screen, just like that. Got some schmutz there on the screen. All right. So how do, and when you click off of it, the original feature request we had for .NET Conf was not to hide this when we hide the message. I think we need to make that a configuration option. What are we doing today? We're working on getting SignalR Reconnect to work properly with a distributed, with a web application. Let me go back over here. I'm going to just create an issue. Add a preference setting. Add user preference setting, which isn't really a thing yet. To hide overlays when dismissed. When individual users should have control over when when overlays are hidden. Some users might want them to always stay visible. Others may want them to be hidden once the waterfall modal is dismissed. That's not a bug so much as it's an enhancement. Yeah, if somebody wants to get in and build that, sure. Let's see here. Yeah, let's dig in a little bit more. All right. So I thought I had something in the overlay already that was doing a little bit of reconnect capabilities. I don't remember. And it's not there. Okay. Where the heck did I put it? Is it here? There it is. All right. And somewhere down here it does connect to SignalR with automatic reconnect, and there it is, like forcing the reconnect, and again and again and again. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times at 30-second increments, it's going to try and reconnect. And when connection closed, if the connection is closed, it's going to try and reconnect after anywhere from 0 to 5 seconds. Let's see what happens. Let's try it. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to kill the server. Right. Shoot. It closed my browser. All right, fine. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Get me logged back in. All right. So let me open these back up. And there's the overlay over there. So we bring up that message and it appears over here. Okay. I'm going to open the developer console there above me. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. So let's head back over here. I'm going to kill the server. And we should see this kind of bug out a little bit trying to reconnect. Yeah, see it? So when it restarts, I should be able to click on another element on the waterfall and it popped that message properly over here. So that says it's reconnected. Let's go back over here and I'm going to choose a different one. Okay. And it did show up. So that one works as expected. Cool. So let's check the portrait overlay, which I think uses the same feature. Yeah. Moderation's going to need some help. Why is it taking so long to load? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing there, friend? Like, I don't know why it's taking so long. I mean, it eventually loads, but right? Let that go for now. So let me open the portrait overlay, and I feel like there might need to be like a top-level portrait, top-level like overlays menu item. I don't know. So when we select one of these, it appears properly. Okay. Still, we need to do some formatting there. It's not great. kill the server. Okay. I thought you were dying. I thought you were... Come on. It's loading data, yes. Hello? Why aren't you canceling? You make me sad. Thank you. So there it is. It's trying to renegotiate and get connected. Restarting. Okay, that looks like it's restarted. It's in its back off here. That looks like it's reconnected. So I'll try another message. Did not reconnect. No. Ah! Okay. I didn't refresh. And it is working. Cool. I'm okay with that. I'm going to mark that one off as yes, it does work. Moderation looks like we've got an issue here. There's moderation content. So, let's grab that question from level 002 while we're waiting. It should have pushed on the screen. I clicked the approve there. I think that's the moderation not reconnecting. Or is there something... I've got some errors here. An item with the same key has already been added. Well, there's your issue. I think we've already fixed this. I think we've already fixed this in the queue work that we were doing. Hey there, Alu the Crow. 325, those are messages from somewhere else. All right. Just to get through this, I'm going to take a look at the data and delete the record. I need to get connected to somewhere down in here. Not that one. Up here, over there. This one, that one. Hello, Junie Von Ash.
Junie_Von_Ash just resubscribed for 37 months. Ah yes, Taco Tuesday code with D.
Hello, hello. Good to see you, my friend. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Let's do order by ID descending. And I think... Is that going to work? It should work, right? No. I have to put quotes. So there were two with the exact same date timestamp, and I think I have that fixed. Where are we looking here? Is that it right there? It said... Let's say where timestamp greater than 2024, 03, 25, and timestamp. I know I could do a between, but this makes me feel happy. 224, 03, 26. Yeah, come on. Greater than the 25th and less than the 26th. Eh? What? 21 rows affected. Great. Where are they? Oh no. That feels like a bug, doesn't it? That feels like a bug. Bugs. Blech. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right there. 2 messages at the exact same time. And yeah. Let's cheat here a little bit. That is 4336. No. 4336. Cool. And what? There we go. Back over here. Refresh that screen. There we go. Wish there was a way to auto date time in SQL. Auto what? So now let me grab that message from level 002. There it is. Question related to the scalability of Blazor server. First thing, it required session affinity. Yeah. It has to be persistent connection to the same place. So if I have 2 servers or 3 behind a load balancer, once that SignalR connection is established, it has to keep going to the same server for it to work. There are things like Azure SignalR service that you can use as a backplane to help with that. If that server goes down, it won't reconnect. That's where the backplane helps. Does hosting the app in Azure and using SignalR Azure service effectively solve this? Yes, it does help to solve that. Yep. That's the direction we encourage folks to go. So, cool. So, chat room. Are you listening out there, chat room? Hello, chat room.
Well, we're waiting.
Can you help me out with testing the reconnect of the moderation screen? Let's just do it. Let's just break it and see what happens. You know what? No. Pause that thought for a second. I'm almost positive it's going to break because it's based on the exact same technology as the waterfall screen. Like, I'm 90% positive because I like copied over the exact same thing. Right? It's right there. So components. No, is it components pages? Yeah, let's start there. Right, there's the connection. We added with automatic reconnect. Capital R and reconnect. Okay, that's the moderation. Did we do anything with the on close? Yeah, there it is. And we told it to try and restart the SignalR hub, which is the same method. Yeah, so let's add something like that. What is that? 17 lines? Oh! Tartar sauce. Alright, so they're yanked over here. So, can I just jump over... Close that one. Over to this one. It was like 190. Yeah, there it is. And need to close that catch. Close that while. Right, that's the catch. Oh, wait. What the heck was that? It was like IntelliSense. But nicer. All right. You're going to restart. We want you to restart. Let's see. Let me get caught up here. Oh, yeah, I'm using Vim, right? All month of March, working at the command line, only at the command line, right? To show that you can do .NET at the command line and be pretty productive. Is it Vigenti? If I wanted to dip your toes into writing desktop applications in C# to add more skills to my portfolio, should I try out Avalonia, or am I better off focusing on WPF WinForms? Avalonia is designed to be similar to... Hang on. I'm on moderation. Let's load up some of these questions. Nope. See, that moderation screen's disconnected. Maybe it isn't. Yep, there it is. Let me catch up. Ooh, hey, how you doing there, Eldorian? Hello, hello. Hope you're having a great day. Let's see here. But it was this question. WPF WinForms are available at every .NET shop. it would be good to have a good foundation of those. Not necessarily an expert, but a foundation of what's in those, because every place that uses .NET has the ability to use those. Not necessarily that they're going to use those, but they have the ability because it's in the box, okay? Versus using Avalonia. Avalonia is open source. There's a paid service available that you can bring in and use. Check it out. Give it a try. Take a look at it. I hear folks say very good things about Avalonia, especially if you want to be able to build something that runs as a native application on Linux. That said, though, the overwhelming majority, 99% plus, people that are building native Windows applications are using WPF and Windows Forms. Windows Forms is the most used framework in .NET. Like, it's the most used. There's not too much more I can say with that. How long does it take for my streams to be uploaded on YouTube? So I'm actually syndicating there right now. So instantaneously. You can go over to my YouTube channel, click the live button, and you'll see this is over there. Windows Forms is used more than ASP.NET? Yes. The number of new applications created with Windows Forms.
For 14 months. Thank you for all your hard work, sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the resub, and I'll make another donation to American Cancer Society. Windows Forms is easily the most used framework in .NET. I got into Vim. How difficult is it coming from Windows environment? It's difficult. If you're used to using Visual Studio, Rider, any of the JetBrains IDEs, Visual Studio Code, it's not trivial to get over there. You got to get used to insert and edit. You got to get used to edit mode versus move mode and bouncing back and forth between them. The keystrokes are not the same, and there is nothing that's going to help you on screen with that. It will look at you like you are an idiot if you don't remember the keystrokes. Level 002 couldn't use WPF, and WinForms will never die. Yeah, they won't. Maui's nice. Absolutely. If I were to recommend somebody who wants to build a new application today, build with .NET Maui, because you're going... That's the direction that we, the .NET team, are trying to push folks, because you have a lot of flexibility in where you deliver your application to run. If you're trying to get a job, learn WinForms WPF. Even then, what you learn in WinForms WPF will help you when you build with Maui. You went with NeoVim, configured it to show some keybinds. Yeah, there you go. I would give anything for there to be something like WinForms Designer for Maui. Totally agreed. Folks don't... The feedback is folks don't like designers for the markup-based languages, particularly HTML. That's the feedback. I agree with you. I'd love for there to be a designer because it makes things a heck of a lot easier to work with and build and do. That's why a lot of folks love Windows Forms. Exactly. Because I can sit down a non-developer with Windows Forms, and they can design a user interface very, very quickly. I'm sure we have some non-technical folks here who haven't written a lot of code that I could boot up a Visual Studio application, show them how to start a new Windows Forms application, and they could probably build a useful WinForms user interface. Not necessarily write the code behind it to get it all connected, but build something that is visually workable in less than a half an hour. And that accessibility for, right, that makes that very accessible, that you don't have to be a developer with years and years experience to be able to build user interface and understand the way things flow. Like, think about how much we as developers need to know in CSS in order to build with Flex and CSS Grid and these things. Like, there is a stack of tribal knowledge there that for us as developers is brutal to work through. But I bet you we could grab some of our non-technical friends and show them, here's Visual Studio, here's the toolbox, here's a Windows Forms application, and I bet you if we grab some of our friends, I saw Junie earlier, Quiltoni, Imperial, we grab some of those folks that aren't classically developers, showed them that, I bet you they could build a pretty good looking series of forms that without the developer C# knowledge to know how to wire up those things, they could build a pretty effective form in less than a half an hour. Instead of XAML, yeah. Maui with Blazor, love it. We're going to do that. And that's the next piece after we finish tying down the SignalR reconnect and getting our SQLite database to hydrate properly. That's the next piece, because level 002, we're going to compile this application you see in front of me, above me, behind me, it's over there. We're going to compile it as a Windows application because it's Blazor. We're going to bring it into Maui. We're going to compile it as a Windows application and be able to share that out to some of our streamer friends. You've been looking at Maui for a mobile app that's also a website, so we could reuse all the stuff if we wanted to. Johan, that's exactly what I'm doing here. You'll see it hopefully Thursday. Hopefully. Make us a designer for the XAML designer for Maui. You checked your YouTube channel, could not find the stream for last Friday with the Blazor improvement. You're going to make me do this, aren't you? Click live. There's me right now. There's Friday. It's right there. So, yep. There's a live tab there, so all the live stuff goes over there. I should have a playlist that it drops into, but why a playlist when it's there under live? So, yeah. All right. Oh man, that felt good. Where was I? So we want to get this page reconnecting, and I started right. I don't need this one now. So because I'm already over here, so that should do the reconnect. Did it though? Is it reconnecting? And I think I might need to have a user interface update because of how interactive the moderation screen is. I might want to have some sort of user interface update that says, hey, you're disconnected. So, all right, let's do a refresh here. Control R. There it is. And yeah, glad to help you with that, Ebphil Harmony. Yeah. So, looks like we're connected, and back over here, let's kill the server. Application is shutting down. Do it. Do it. It's still running. Come on. Still running. Don't make me kill it. There it is. 75919. You're going to make me kill it. Thank you. Back over here. This says that this doesn't say that it's retrying to connect. Not like the other ones were. Restart it. Oh, well, there's your problem right there. The is disposing stuff. I didn't put that in. Ah, darn it. Now, why didn't that come up and tell me that's an error when it rebuilt? I'm going to put it right here. Private bool. Where did we use that over here? Mm-hmm. And then in dispose async, we listed it. Okay. Just to be safe. I like to be explicit with declaring those. Try that again. And it's not going to reconnect. What? The name Start SignalR Hub. Oh, because it's a different name. It's not called... It's called... this method right here. Configure SignalR connection. Right there. That didn't quite work the way that I wanted it to. Whatever. Here we go. XAML isn't horrible. While I agree with you, I'm also not a fan. Semicolon expected. What? Await configure SignalR. Is disposing equals true. 205. That closes the catch. That closes the while. Oh, it's... yeah. There we go. Yes, there is C# markup, so you can use that MVU pattern, right? The Comet framework will help you with that. Worksbend, hello! Thank you for the follow. Okay, so, right, let's just force the refresh so it has that reload stuff in there, right? And make sure we're getting a message through. There it is. Okay. So back over here. Yep, application is shutting down. I see you saying that, but I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think I'm missing something still in the cancellation of things like the Mastodon provider there. It's just not canceling and ending. Bet you it is Mastodon, too. The Mastodon provider, not the service. Okay, so... Yep, there we go. Look at that. Connection refused. .NET run to reconnect. Okay. Are we reconnected? Yes. Look at that. We got the message to come through. And if I reject that content and refresh, does it remember that? Cool. I think we got it. I think we got it, friends. It would be nice to have a user interface if you aren't connected. I'm not going to worry about that for right now. Add UI indicator to moderation screen if connection is lost. There we go. Any plan to create a series of Aspire? Did I stop it? Is it? I did stop it. Yes. Let me show you something. Let me get this stuff committed. Shall we? What do we got? Added reconnection capabilities to moderation. Fantastic. So that is building. Aspire's looking pretty darn neat. Good. I'm glad you think so. While that's running, .NET workload list. Can I do... What can I do there? Can we do workload update? Yes. Give me all the things. I want to build a little website that uses Azure Table Storage and blobs, along with Redis for caching, and let you put Markdown for articles in Azure blobs, the top-level data in Azure Tables. And this could be any storage service, but for the purposes of showing a more complete example that isn't microservice all the things, but something that's very small, I've got this. And the idea would then be, I have over here a post repository that receives that table client and blob client so that it can interact with that data. And to get a list of posts, there it's getting it out of table storage. And when I go to get a post, go get, that's getting it for partition key. That's not going to get a single post. That's not right. But here it reaches into the blob and grabs the markdown, downloads it, returns that markdown as content here, gets that content, and returns it as a tuple with a post object and then the markdown that goes with it. You're amazed I'm using Linux? How you doing there, Sonic Ozzo? Yeah. So this is Minimal March. There'll be a message. Well, it is right there from Stream Elements. I show that we can use .NET at the command line all month long. Our last episode will be Thursday here. There's more work that I have to do on this, but this is a concept that I'm working on for a demo. So right now it's marked private in my GitHub. It'll be, when I'm done building this demo, I'll make it public. But the idea is I want to show you how to build a slightly more complex blog site using simple Markdown and Redis output cache, Azure table storage. Here it is. And I'm going to create actually two websites, the public-facing website and the admin-facing website. So you log in somewhere else, not even log in, you go somewhere else. And all that site does is the admin piece. So it publishes two websites. You wish you could build Windows apps using a Linux machine? Yeah. I wish I could build Apple apps using a Linux machine. So that's coming, and we're going to add TagzApp to Aspire as well. But TagzApp as Windows app is first, then Aspire. That built properly. We got the green light there. Ta-da! So let's merge that and call that done. Yeah, it's ready. There you go. Squash and merge. Do it. And now we got the reconnecting hub built. Fantastic. And let's reset my Git configuration here. And then should we work on the? Well, that's 11.16. Let me jump over here. Really? Git pull upstream main. Git push. Git branch. Now branch. I can remove fix on the reconnect. And I can remove the feature for the Twitch open telemetry. It looks like Twitch Hotel, but not B, it's D. Okay. Where should we go next? What's this? Let's see. Moderation UI does not have a page title. Oh, let's fix that real quick. Right, that should be fixable. So the app's running, but it says localhost, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's go fix that. here. Oh, okay, fine. It does have a page title. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So why isn't the page title come through? This is interesting. This could be very interesting. Let's tinker for a second. What happens if I add a render mode there? Really, you're not gonna restart for me? Because I did a .NET run. I didn't do a .NET watch. Hello. This is me because I have something not clearing out here. It's got to be the Mastodon provider. I would very much like to. Don't make me kill -9 that John. As soon as I start typing it. As soon as I start typing it. So let's .NET watch now. Right, so I can force the restarts. Try and get this a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I know I'm using preview versions. Here we go. Blazor output. Blazor. Come on, Blazorify that, John. Let's go. Let's go. Right, so refresh that page. There, now it says message moderation. Come on. Why are these kind of hanging around? See it spinning? All right. Right, so if I can go over to system admin. It didn't update. Admin pages. System administration. It's rebuilding. See this user interface? I want to custom this thing. I want to, right? Instead of getting the overlay and saying, oh, look, we're reloading. See, and it yanked, it yoinked the title there. Why? Like it's right there. And users? Yeah. So there's an issue we need to address also. None of these are setting a title now. Waterfall didn't set a title either. It said it and it got cleared out. Just see that? Hey, it's Litany. So I suspect that isn't the answer. Oh, wait a sec. I completely hang on. No. I completely yanked it. Yeah, see, now it has the title. The moderation doesn't. That one does. But this one does not. Sonic Ozo, thank you for the follow. So we did a thing. There's an outer page of the waterfall that is server-side rendered. If I broke this into two pieces, the middle part that was WebAssembly and the outer part that was server-side rendered, could do that. It's going to take a long time to do. I'm going to punt that one for now. Well, hang on. At least I got the system administration, right? Let's get system administration users, right? Can we get that page to work? Maybe not even work, but at least... Right, give it the title. There we go. Now it's got the title. Can we do that with providers also? System administration, provider management. There we go. And the other one is the modal customization. Customization. I can spell. I can totally spell chat room. I can't spell chat room, but I can spell. Your team lead just compared Blazor to Silverlight. Send them to me. Get them on the phone right now. I will open Discord to talk to them. They are so wrong, it's not even funny. Bring them to me now. I am revoking their .NET developer card. You need to talk to me. Level 002, you're not quite. You're on the way there, but not quite right. Doesn't even know what Discord is? I put them on YouTube. YouTube.com/C#Fritz. Point them here now. I will open a Skype channel. Get them. Here's the deal. Get ready to make a clip, all right? Here we go. Now, you didn't do wrong. You didn't do complete. So let's make sure we get the full picture in there. Are you ready? Thank you, Surly Dev. Yes. Here's the deal. Blazor is not Silverlight. Anybody who tries to compare that to you not only is dead wrong, but hasn't been paying attention to web development for the last 15 years. Silverlight was released in 2008. Silverlight, just like Adobe Flash, just like Java applets, was a plugin in the browser. And Steve Jobs, in his memo, declared that there shall never be plugins allowed to run on iPhone and iPad version of Safari. So Blazor works on WebAssembly, which is an HTML standard. There are other versions of Blazor that also run on the server and run inside native apps. So you have one framework that works everywhere. That's the deal. And it's a web standard that will never be removed. Now I got it. Go for it, Surly Dev. Copy it. Chop it right there. Thank you so much. So that's the deal. That's why Blazor is different. Because WebAssembly is a standard that runs everywhere. Every browser has it. And we were talking about Spectre and Meltdown earlier, those processor errors that existed in Intel processors. Because Spectre and Meltdown happened way back in 2017. Do you remember 2017? Because of that, everybody had to update their browsers. Since everybody updated their browsers, that means everybody has support for WebAssembly. So if you need Blazor to run in the browser, it'll run on WebAssembly. The exact same code will run on the server with Blazor Server. Boom, done. Drop the mic. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the fish. I'll be out by the buffet. So that's the deal. And that's what makes Blazor so compelling. They tried to do this with something called Angular Universal, where they wanted Angular to be able to run both on the server and in the browser, and it didn't work. Folks didn't pick up on it. Blazor, the .NET community is all over. Thank you, Surly Dev. Grab that, John. Share it on the Twitter. Share it on Mastodon. Tell your Fritz. Tell your Fritz. Tell your friends. Tell your families. Tell your pets. I have done it before. And quite frankly, Surly Dev, the countdown helped. Thank you. So the deal is having content that renders on the server. Everybody needs that, wants that, and you see JavaScript folks coming back and saying, hey, I want server-side rendered content. And they even invented an acronym for something that we've been doing since 1993. We did it with Perl and CGI bin, PHP, Classic ASP, Ruby on Rails, server-side rendering. We've been doing that for decades. Like, you're inventing an acronym for something that never went away. You just decided to ignore it. You decided it wasn't for you. But now, oh, I'm reinventing. Look at this. You can render all this content, all this user interface on the server. I'm giving it an acronym. I've invented something. Look at how wonderful I am. No, you're not. Shut up. Come on. I'll gaslight the JavaScript folks till kingdom come. If you don't pay attention to what's going on in the larger technical community, and the technical community stops between script tags in the browser, you aren't in a technical community. You're in an angle bracket community. Don't do just whatever your thing is. I read and see what's going on in the Go and Rust communities. I'm not completely up to date, but every now and again I check in and see what's going on. I check out every now and again what's going on in the Ruby community. The things DHH talks about I find very interesting every now and again because he has some interesting thoughts. The fact of the matter is, open source and the open discussions of our technical communities mean we can all learn from each other. Don't bury your head in the sand. There's folks with funny colored facial hair and hair on the top of our heads that have been doing this for a while that have a little bit of insight. And we can help you with things because we've been doing it for 30 years. We were there when Mosaic happened. We were there when the first Java applets were deployed. We ran Hot Java. Do you know what Hot Java was? Go Google that. Go look it up on Wikipedia. Hit archive.org. Archive.org doesn't go back that far. You're so special. Listen to us. We want to help you. We've learned these things in the past. It's okay to say, hey, what about this? We want to move forward. Stand on the shoulders of the folks that came before us and that are going to come after us. Let's help each other. And you help each other by listening and working together. Don't bury your head in the sand. Oh, I'm never going to touch any of the stuff those .NET folks do. Really? Is that why you built Ajax panels into the latest version of Ruby? Really? Is that why you're adding generics into your programming language? Really? Is that why you're adding memory safety and a garbage collector like Java and the .NET languages have into your programming language? C++ has garbage collection now. Why do you think that is? Like, let's help each other. It's okay that other programming languages get features of other languages. But to say, look, I invented something. But to say, hey, look at how great this is, this great new feature that I have. No, it's not a great new feature. It's something that you didn't do, that your framework and language were capable of doing, that you're now saying you rediscovered. Let's work together. Come on now. You need at least 50 years of VB6. Come on now. Come on now. VB6 has been around since, what was it, 1997, I want to say? Best you can do is 5 years of Blazor, right? Hey, you need 10 years of Blazor development. You know Steve Sanderson doesn't have 10 years of Blazor development, right? So, can I explain what my plans are for TagzApp? World domination. History does repeat itself. Yes, indeed. What's my goal? I talked about this in the YouTube video I published last Thursday. So it's on my YouTube channel. It's on the published list of videos. I want to encourage streamers. I want to encourage content. 98. Thank you, Dungareth. I was close, man. Ooh, I was close. I want to encourage the 3 I's. Immersion, interactivity, and inclusivity. I want to encourage folks to have a good experience building and working with streamers, participating in streams, participating in live events. We may turn this into a managed service online. Don't know. But I want to allow this to integrate with more services. I want to use some of the basics, some of the foundational pieces of this as an advanced capability, advanced tutorial for folks interested in getting involved with Blazor. How much does a chimney cost? How much does a chimney cost? Huh? Nothing, it's on the house. That's good. Why didn't it pop up over here? There it is. It's on the house. Yeah, that's a good dad joke. Well done. Well done. All right, you got me. I like that. All right. Yep. Bullseye, thank you for the sub. Welcome in.
Bullseye.
And we'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Is there a way to filter messages from a single user? I don't have that, no. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, Lanky Scottish Nerd. Can you do me a favor? Can you create an issue for that on the TagzApp repository? I like that idea. That's not bad. Right, and we started working on the ability to do the message details here as a pop-up. I could see as one of the actions here, show other messages from this user and take me to another page that lists, here's their messages. You hear the government is putting chips in people? You hope you get Doritos? Yeah, thank you, Lanky Scottish Nerd. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Not sure when I'll be able to build it on stream, but if we put it out there, maybe there's a hackathon. Maybe there's a hackathon in our future where we can wrench on stuff like that together. Space Shot
just resubscribed for 56 months. Let's go.
Let's go. Hang on, say that right. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate the resub. Make sure you check out Chris and Rich's show, the Developer Talk Show, or the Dev Talk Show. Why don't you drop can you drop a link for that? On Twitch, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. It's on all the places. Thank you so much for the sub. Yeah. There you go, the Dev Talk Show. Make sure you check them out. They're doing a great job building stuff, talking about how to evolve and grow your career as they're building things. Really neat. Making sense of Blazor off. Yeah. Right? Like, that's a thing. All right. Let me update those. I just did that little bit of page title work. Fix. Let's just call this page titles. Let's make sure we include the E in checkout. Thank you. Cool. Set missing page titles. Push that, John. And it's not really this page, but app name, pull request. Yeah, pull request. Do the pull request. Sure. Create that pull request. I know it works. I'm not even going to let it do its thing here. Go. Force that right in there. Jump back over to the main. Git pull upstream main. Git push. And yeah, let's delete that other branch. Goodbye. Hey, Thindall. Meetings are over. Good. I need to clear that out. Next time Builder tries to charge me for a chimney, I know exactly what to say. You hope your skyscraper of pancakes keeps you rolling through code today. Oh, that's cool. Welcome in, Lyso. How you doing? Yeah, man. That pancakes. Pancakes. Can I explain which scenarios I advise to use Azure DevOps versus GitHub? Azure DevOps are great if you have Azure Active Directory out there and you want to configure some fine-grained enterprise level authorization capabilities around your DevOps processes. Eric
Benofskill just resubscribed for 10 months. Happy Tuesday, Jeff.
Thank you so much. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Git switch as the new way to switch branches. You just checked if it creates branches. It does with git switch-c, which is exactly the same as git checkout. So it's like, why? Azure DevOps is good if your company doesn't use GitHub. Yep. If you don't use GitHub, totally works. Azure Boards as a... So we use Azure Boards to manage a bunch of our processes. Now, why didn't that pop over? Like, that should have added over here because I moderated. So, Azure repositories are... if you need the enterprise level fine-grained security authorization and authentication into things, you can do that with GitHub, but Azure DevOps gives you a little bit more control over that. And control integrating with your Active Directory. So, I have a Bitbucket out there as well. Is there a good free private NuGet repository? Yeah, you get that with DevOps. Not as much anymore. Let me try approve, and that should... Why isn't it popping up over here? Like, I did the approve. Has anyone created a ticket system on their site to add tickets to Azure boards? No, but that sounds like something valuable. Why isn't it adding... over here? Do I have a JavaScript issue? WebSocket connection to... No. There's something going on there. I'm just going to approve stuff at random. Yeah, it's going. Yeah. I wonder if when I checked out and it was rebuilding stuff, if I threw something into a little bit of a mix there. In which scenarios do I advise using Azure DevOps versus GitHub? It's an Active Directory integration is where I would use it. If you need fine-grained authentication control integrated with your Active Directory. There is GitHub Enterprise that'll give you some of those features. Azure DevOps is very tightly integrated with that. And that's where I would make that decision. So. Okay. Cool. Current moderator does not populate with single user. That found that problem. That looks like it's fixed. Appears to be fixed. Be fixed. As of March 26, 2024. Okay. On moderation, screen spinner should disappear if there are no messages to display. That's not bad. That's not bad. Should show a friendly no messages. Yeah, if you turn on all the filters, we should show some sort of message here. Let's do that one. Right? So, right, the gist of it is if we turn everything off so we only get blue sky and we say approved only, say it just kind of spins here. Look at that, Surly Dev on Mastodon mentioning me. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, see, this just kind of hangs here. It's like, well, I don't have data loading. So, yeah, let's fix that. So, right, what, well, let's look at what was returned. Yeah, thanks for the what's new. I don't care. There we go. So if we look at, right, I'm going to turn these off. And when I, darn it, I already removed. So I'm showing just the WebAssembly stuff. Oh, no, I want the WebSockets. Ah, there we go. It's this one. So I should probably return some sort of message here that says, hang on. What? No. This one. Put you on the other side so folks can see when I'm actually looking at this. Yeah, when there are no messages, right, so let's clear that out. And when I filter this to approved only, yeah, the result is an empty set. So if the result, when it's calling, say, get filtered content by tag, if that returns nothing, I should probably hide the spinner at that point. That's actually not too bad to detect. Let's go take care of that. Right, so where's moderation? Yeah, that one. Right? So somewhere down here. Right? Providers, filtered providers, moderators, on after render. Listen for moderation content. Yeah, yeah. Approved message, rejected message, blocked user count. New, handle message. Yeah. Where's it where it does the filtering? Toggle provider filter. And then it does a content clear. Initialize content. And it clears it. So, and filter content is a task. Okay. So it refreshes the screen when it's done. So if there is no content, right? It's good to put the spinner up, but when the spinner's done and there's no content. Right there. It's not just toggle the provider. But there's another place where it does this. Let's go back up to the top here. There's the list of providers. If there is any content, if there isn't any content, there's the spinner. I feel like I should put up a loading indicator, right? So I could do else if loading. Come here. I didn't want to do that, but it worked. What is it for the message? I want to put up danger message. The bootstrap danger message. Bootstrap danger message. Like, I forget what it's called. Alerts, that's it. Yeah, alert space alert dash. Alert dash danger. Yep. No messages found that meet the filter criteria. So now I gotta set that loading state. So let's go find the filters. Right there. Loading equals true. Loading equals false. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where to toggle provider filter. Right, there we go. Loading equals true. Loading equals false. That should do it. So refresh. I think I have my loading. It should start off showing loading. Get current moderators, initialize content. Oh no. Not there. Put a space there. Makes me happy. Refresh. What? It's rebuilding. There we go. Got the spinner. Cool. And turn off some of these, and the spinner does pop up, and when I turn approval status to something that doesn't exist, I get a nice message. Nice. Is it true that DevOps work is more routine work than cybersecurity? Yes. Much more work. Yes. Controlling how things get deployed and interact with the production space is very much a part of DevOps work. Yes, yes, yes. Elite. Who are elite streamers? Who the heck is that? We've got 106,000 followers. Whatever. Hey, McNets. What was that for a cool... What? For a cool little CSS thing like a danger message or when you did beta mode for Clip Talk, where did I get that from? Bootstrap. It's Bootstrap. Do I use GitHub CLI? No. I know you can use Copilot through it. I do not use GitHub CLI. I use Git CLI. Like, pull your CSS up by its bootstraps. Robert Tables, hello. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. That was an easy bug to address. Let's just put together a quick fix. And this is a no messages. Yeah. So, yep, that's fine. Added message when no content available. Cool. Oh. Go ahead, restart. So this one, it is 403. Let's create that pull request. Fixes 403. That's the one. And I'm not even going to wait for it to go. Do it. Fantastic. Git pull upstream main. Git push. Cool. Love it. Love it. All right, back over. Let's see. What else? What else can we fix? Should not ship TagzApp common to WebAssembly. Ooh, that's going to be a bit of work. Any plan for a mobile version of TagzApp using .NET MAUI? Asks Goku Jax. You can do the same thing, rinse and repeat every day. And there are folks that really enjoy that. Yes. Our friend Maddie Montequilla, she's one of the program managers on the .NET MAUI team. Brilliant woman. Amazing singing voice. If you're in the Boston area, she sings with a band. Phenomenal talent. She's not just a brilliant mind. She really wants to see TagzApp on a mobile application showing off a little bit of .NET MAUI. Coming. It's coming. That's about all that I can say about that. It's we're not there. Future. So and we might be able to recruit Maddie to help us on stream here a little bit. Let me grab this from Killaspice. See, I checked that and it didn't flow through here. Yeah, why didn't that? I'm at a crossroads on deciding if I should use my own money to do a cloud computing graduate diploma or sign up for Visa's 12-month traineeship as a system analyst. But it has no promise for full-time employment after or resume says trainee. I hear you. This is a good question, a common problem that I think many young folks graduating high school trying to decide if they even want to go to university that they're facing. Do you already have computing skills, development skills? I don't have a master's degree or a PhD. I have a bachelor's degree. I work on the ASP.NET team. I was the program manager for ASP.NET for a better part of a year. For ASP.NET Web Forms. I was program manager for NuGet for 2+ years. I have real-world experience doing these things. However, because I don't have a master's degree, I cannot teach at university. Unless you're going into some place where they need you to have that graduate degree. If you just want to build cool stuff, websites, games, applications, giant cloud services, I'd say you don't need it. I'd also then say, if you think you need it, taking that traineeship as a systems analyst is going to get you real-world experience that you're not paying for. That's going to, and yes, it doesn't guarantee you full-time employment. You're no worse off than you are now. So that cost-benefit analysis is going to take you a long way. And being able to do cost-benefit analysis is going to help you in the future. So to apply that same skill that we've already learned, to apply it to your decision whether to do graduate diploma or traineeship. Graduate diploma is going to cost you how many tens of thousands of American dollars in my case. Versus you're going to get paid to work for Visa and have that on your resume for a year and potential opportunity for a job with Visa. Visa is one of maybe a handful of companies in the world that have a transaction volume. This is something that folks really don't understand. The transaction volume that Visa has, massive respect to their engineers, because they process financial transactions in single-digit milliseconds. You spin your credit card, you tap your phone at the convenience store because you're getting a soda, you're getting a bag of chips, whatever it might be, right? And you want a response to that immediately. So they process those transactions in single-digit milliseconds from all over the world. I agree. There's an architecture there that for you to learn, just scratching the surface, you're not going to be an expert at it, but to learn a little bit of how it works is going to go a long way to help you design systems in the future. Maybe not at Visa, but at the next job. And that's what I talk about when I say that open source and learning from other technologies, learning from how other folks build their stuff, levels us up. Okay? Visa was a data fire hose before AWS named a service fire hose. Yes. So there's, right, I see president, not sure. So I think there's, having that opportunity, I would absolutely encourage you to go after it if you're interested in doing software development, or you're interested in doing operations or being a system analyst, right? You want to be that kind of on the ground developer that's going along. I don't care about that meeting. If you're going to be that kind of on the ground developer that's going to make a difference and do cool stuff, okay? I would absolutely encourage that. If you want to get into further research, or you think it's going to help you get a management type job, then go after the graduate diploma. It's not going to put you immediately into a management position, but it's going to qualify you for it. So, I see a lot of great feedback. Chat room, thank you for participating and offering some insight here for our friend Killaspice. There's a lot of perspectives on this because everybody has a different journey in life, okay? Like, I've been doing this job for 30 years. I've got 2 kids that are going into university, getting into those types of programs. So, yeah, let's be careful about what we choose and help you get successful. Thank you, Big Daddy McCoy. That's very kind. If getting a degree is going to get you into massive debt, I'd say you don't need it. Yes. Taking on the amount of debt that you might have, that you might get with applying for a degree, yeah. There are folks that are going to be able to help you with that, and they'll stretch out, make it easier for you to pay that stuff off. They're investing in you to pay that off over time. And it's guaranteed income from you is what they're basically doing. Graduate degree doesn't guarantee you employment either. No, it does not. No, it doesn't. Hey there, Robson. Welcome. What I can find a loan about system analyst, I will work with networks, but I don't know if they are cloud related. That's okay. That's okay. Systems architecture in a local data center, managed data center, is going to absolutely give you insight into the architecture of things and the way that those things work. It's going to give you insight when you are presented with the opportunities for what you can do with the cloud. Because if you're somebody who works in the cloud every day, like Robert Tables, the fact that things are running in containers instead of on servers, architecturally for your software, isn't going to be a significant difference. There's definitely a difference in implementation, but architecturally what they're capable of isn't going to be significant in difference. So, and I'm oversimplifying that. There are differences in there, to be sure, what you build and run on a server versus build and run on a container and something that's a little bit more cloud native. I'm oversimplifying for this conversation before anybody got to get somebody says, now wait a sec, Kubernetes is a heck of a lot different, and when I put things on a service bus in the cloud versus a service bus locally, totally agree. Totally agree. Trying to push the conversation forward. So, don't go into university just because your friends are doing it. Yeah, totally agree. Warm peas. Totally. Try to do that in traineeship. Sounds good for improvement. Yeah. If you're going to get paid while on that traineeship, yeah. You can do education part-time if you'd like. They might even offer to help you with your education if you prove out well there. So, look at that. 11 more messages waiting for us here. Are you sure that no other education program supports you? Started a retraining in Germany, sponsored by the government. There you go. In the States, if you pick up a job working in the public sector, working for the government will forgive your student loan debt. So teachers that go and get their master's degree, their secondary degree, it's paid for by the state if you're working for a public school. So there's opportunities there. And absolutely, finding somebody else to pay for your education is a brilliant life hack. Do it. Tuition assistance is a heck of a benefit from an employer. So there is, I was looking into this because I wanted to consider going for a master's degree starting here in 2024. Not really because I needed to, but because I wanted to. And when it came time for promotion, I could say, well, I've got the master's degree. Microsoft does offer reimbursement, but you kind of have to prove that you need that degree in your role or in the next role that you're considering in order for them to pay for it, right? So you have to justify it. You might see something similar at your place of employment. Traineeship pays $3,500 to $4,000 allowance. Is that over the duration or is that per month? What's the terms on that? Triopticon is a person without a formal degree as well. Let me pause here. It's possible to succeed and still with hard work. Yes. Today I work as a tech lead in a software as a service development and team leader for a platform team at NAV, Norwegian Labor and Welfare Administration. Very cool. Public sector here in Norway. We build software for the whole Norwegian population. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Very, very cool stuff there. And government job. Hanging out here in chat. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that, Triopticon. Very cool. The fact that I do not have any degree means that yes, this happens as well. Deflux is correct here. Now it didn't bring up the message right away, even though I clicked it. There's a reliability thing there we're gonna want to take a look at. If you don't have a degree, a bachelor's degree, that 4-year degree, or even an associate's degree. My father graduated and has 2 associate's degrees, one in data processing and one in math. But you will get auto-declined from work at some place, at some institutions, because of either HR policy or a contract says you must have a degree. There are some government positions, there are some positions with high levels of requirements that are very strict and say, you must have a degree. Like, that is a thing. I will tell you what? Come on, load it up. Here's one in Oslo, working on AI on Microsoft 365. Hang on. Here's a tip. Here's a hack. Ready, chat room? Don't tell anyone about this. If you search for DDJL, it will give you the jobs that are hiring in DevDiv, working on developer tools for Microsoft. Any developer, any app, any platform. This is for a software engineer 2 in Redmond. Preferred qualifications: bachelor's degree or master's degree or related technical field and 2+ years technical engineering experience. So a bachelor's degree and 4+ years, or a master's degree or related technical field and 2+ years. Preferred. It is not a requirement to have a degree to join DevDiv. It's preferred, You're going to have to show up and be something special compared to folks who do have a degree. But quite frankly, the hiring managers do not look at your degree. Education versus experience. Yep. So the hack there, once again, DDJL. Search for that, and you'll find jobs working on developer tools at Microsoft, okay? Little hack on the Microsoft careers site. Self-taught route is a big deal with a lot of developers, yeah. Oh, yeah. There definitely feels like Google demands it for when you want to jump. Yeah, Google does demand a degree. Yes. So that's working, but when I was pushing content through, yeah, that didn't go through. Wow, sorry for the typos, and it didn't pop up over here. But it's definitely saved. It just didn't push it. Right, but now it's coming through. There, that I approved it. It's earlier, so it pops up down here. And remove it. And now it's gone. So, sorry for the typos. Remove that. Gone. There's a reliability thing there that I think we may want to keep an eye on. So, security screening is different from education requirements. Different. And some of those security requirements, some of them require you to be a citizen. Some. I used to get, when I was working on product management for ASP.NET and NuGet, I was getting background checked every year. So there are some folks who have to get security approvals. And if you're able to get top security approvals, yeah, you're going to be able to get jobs. That's never going to be an issue. Now, okay, I'm seeing messages come in there and they're not getting pushed onto this screen. I see your messages and they're not on the screen. Something's trying to go to about blank. Where's that? It's an image. I'm not going to be able to find through that. There's also jobs where development isn't the only thing you do. Yep. Where'd that go? Right here from Dukasoft. Can't seem to connect to Discord? I'm getting foreground checked. Yeah, that's hanging now. How do you add what to my site? Yeah, why isn't that Discord link, redirect link working? If we go links.c#fritz.com/r/ yeah, that link worked. And it popped all the way through. That looks more like it's the like it's the redirect. There's the full link to get over there. There we go. If a non-government contract company requires you to be a citizen, I would be worried about not being able to pay for a work visa. Yeah. Yeah, what do you mean by add to my site? Help me out there, Johnny B. Cat. What does that mean? Twitch seems slow today. Maybe Solar Storm? No. No. There's low viz. I see you on Discord now. I do need to start wrapping up here. But there's definitely to the website panels I have where? These? The ones you see here behind me? Yeah, just... Nope, does not wrap. There's an issue to create. There's an issue to create. Bug. Long messages with no spaces are cut off. Not sure if these should wrap. Yeah, these should probably wrap. Isn't there a CSS rule or something to help with that? I'll mark that as a bug. It's not a bad first issue if somebody wants to take a shot at it. So there you go. Should all bugs be entered in TFS as a bug and assigned to you? There isn't. It's not TFS. It's GitHub issues. No, don't assign them to me. Just create them. If folks want to work on them, they're welcome to say, "Hey, I'd like to work on this," and I will assign them, and they can do it. Right, Dukasoft. That's a that wrapped. That wrapped properly. But the one from DGen 1 over here did not. And if we... Right. So, we can investigate those two. Can I do a snap? Yeah, screenshot. Let's capture that. Rectangular region. Yeah, take a screenshot. Let's just grab these two while we're here. Copy it to the clipboard. Edit. There we go. And now that little test that we were helping with went in there. I thought word wrap break word was already set on these. Take a quick peek. Just take a quick peek. Computed. No, it's not on there. Yep, word wrap. Well, that's easy. That works for both of those samples there. So if somebody wants to go update site CSS on line 117 and add that, you'll get credit for that fix real quick. All right. So, yep, it's this issue right here, 434. All right. You're welcome to go edit and put that word wrap on there. And we'll get you credit for the fix. Putting in the pull request. I do need to go. It is about time for me. So I need to get rolling. I have a meeting to get to here. Big thanks to everybody for dropping in today, for having a good time. We fixed a handful of bugs. We got some features going. Next time, we're going to start to put this website... we're going to start to put this website into a Blazor Maui application so we can deploy it for Windows. Kilo Spice, thank you for the follow. I'll be back on Thursday. I think I'm gonna cancel tomorrow's stream because I just don't have enough time to get it written. But yeah, let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that we can get you connected to. Have a good time, learn something more. You know what? We haven't raided. Let's raid our friend Lana Lux. She's working on her independent game called Strain that she's been building by herself for the past, what, 2-3 years? She's getting closer and closer to development. She actually, it looks like she has a guest on that she's talking to. I can't tell if that's a guest or if she's watching a video. But we're going to raid over to our friend Lana Lux. She programs with Unity, building with C#. Have a great time, friends. I'll see you on Thursday. If you're watching on YouTube, there's lots more videos down here and over there. Check them out. I'm working on my next episodes of C# in the cards. And I will talk to you on Thursday. All right? Have a great one. Say hi to Lana for me. And we'll, yeah, all that stuff. So I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.